uAttend makes time and attendance simple, smart and affordable. And it does that by being a cloud employee management system. It allows employees to sign on and off for work in a variety of ways. They can clock on using a fingerprint time clock, a card or key tag, or using the face scan clock, simply looking at the time clock and it will sign them on or off. Each of these clocks has a variety of functions and options to look at. uAttend also offers iPhone and Android apps. Staff can use these apps on their phone, that's included with the uAttend system. They can clock in and out a list of department jobs or just sign on and off for work. And the app will grab their location and stamp the street address of where they were at the time against their sign-in time. Thirdly, employees can clock on and off directly at the web page for your business using their username and password. You decide which of these options you allow your staff to use and configure accordingly. uAttend's a multi-user cloud application. We can have an unlimited number of administrators and supervisors all managing our system. An administrator has access to the settings area as well as to the My Account area to control your invoicing, plan and billing. A supervisor can have access to the other areas and you decide which department groups they have access to. Can they approve timesheets or not, and do they have viewing or editing access? Firstly, when we log into our uAttend system, we're presented with a dashboard that we can customize. Some popular items are the status, where we can see who's on site right now. Not only that, it shortlists where did these employees sign on and off. There'll be a street address if they've used their phone, there'll be an IP address if they've used their PC, or there'll be a time clock name if they've used a physical clock. Shortlisted on our dashboard, we could also view time off requests made by employees if we're using that feature. Employees can request leave directly at a fingerprint or card time clock, or request it online as well, and have that electronically approved. Another popular dashboard widget would be the add clocking, where it shortlists all the missing clockings where staff might have forgot to sign on or off each day, and a supervisor or administrator can directly fix that up right here on this widget without having to navigate through to the timesheets. When we have a look at the setting options available in our uAttend account, we control how time is formatted, whether we require daylight savings on our account. We set up our pay period so that our time cards match that exactly, and we have our dashboard options here to customize too. Under clocking management, here's where we can add our list of time clocks to our account, as well as possibly add some geolocations and only allow our phone apps to work at set locations. We can configure public holidays within the system if staff will be working or not working, whether they're full-time or casual, to give the ability for the system to auto-attribute hours if they're not there, or if they are there, to move their hours to a public holiday rate. uAttend has a number of pre-built export payroll formats available to select from. Using these formats, we can then choose some configuration options below, and uAttend can export a very simple payroll export in any of those formats. So that means no data entry from uAttend to your payroll software. Under communications, we can configure time card approvals. As a multi-user system, if you're used to having a supervisor or foreman sign off on the timesheets, that can now be done electronically. And you can add up to 3 tiers of approval. Maybe you require employees to sign off first or not. Then maybe the supervisor. Finally, you might want an administrator to sign off as well. And you can choose any one of those 3 combinations. When a supervisor signs off on the timesheet, their login name is stamped to that timesheet, and the data is sealed so you know it won't change. Under employee services, you can allow your employees the ability to add expenses, tips, or to request time off. Under job tracking, we can use the job tracking feature available when signing on to a web page or the fingerprint card clocks. We can add our list of jobs and sub-jobs here, and we can also track them independently to the shift hours on the time card. There is a simpler form of job tracking using department job tracking, which also works on the phone apps. And so maybe talk to our sales team about which option might work best for you. But uAttend does a great job of tracking time against job codes, very fast and effective. Finally, under our settings option, we have a shifts tab. And here is where we can define some triggers and alarms that happen when employees work certain shifts. We can define a shift here. We can assign it to departments or employees, and then we can set maybe some email alarms. Let me know when this staff has signed in too early or too late. Let me know when these employees have left early or if they've missed their break clocking as well. How uAttend knows how to calculate time is all based on the department that's assigned to an employee. If we click on a department here, each department has a short code and then a long descriptive name. We can configure some rounding options on the actual times the employees clock. When it comes to lunch breaks, uAttend can automatically deduct a value after a certain period of time, or using the lunch or break buttons on the fingerprint or card clocks, we can directly control what happens with those clockings when the employees sign on and off for those breaks, albeit an unpaid break or a paid break. Also on the department, we control overtime. We can decide whether we want overtime to work on a daily basis, say after 8 hours, or on a weekly basis, say after 38 hours. We can control 2 rates of overtime here, typically time and a half and double time. So we can say that overtime happens after a certain number of hours have been worked or at a certain time of day. The schedule option on a department allows us to control when this department is actually going to be working. They're not going to start work till 8:30 and we expect their normal time to finish at 5. When we specify this time, it gives us greater control over calculating when they start. Without this option turned on, uAttend will count from when they signed on, possibly with some rounding. With this option enabled for a department, when the employee signs on, say early for their 8:30 shift, coming at 8:20 or 8:10, uAttend will show you the time they turn up, but start counting from their scheduled start time for you. The lockout option gives us the ability to define the earliest time the time clock or app will actually work for the employee, or the latest time as well. So if you don't want staff to sign in until a certain time, you can add a lockout time to the department. Some advanced options for a department can be if the employees will be working past midnight and we need their finish time to pull back to the start time. We can say that a day change happens at another time. We can specify the number at maximum shift hours they'll be working, and if this is a night shift where their finish time will be on a different date to their start time. Under our users option, we can easily manage the employees within our system, as well as our administrators and supervisors. You can see administrators and supervisors are color-coded different to employees. We have a brand new tile view here. We can also flick to a list view as well if we've got a high volume of staff we need to manage. It's very easy to find an employee. Once we start typing to search for an employee, they're shortlisted for us above. This brand new employee view, employee view shows us the last time the employees have used the system in their blue panel below their name, along with the sign-in options that we have enabled for this employee. Luke here, for example, can use a PIN code, a fingerprint, or a face scan. When we add a supervisor to the system, we're able to define which department groups they're allowed to view, what email address this supervisor will receive reports on, can they view and edit the employees, Can they view or edit their time cards? And can they add or edit departments? And are they allowed to use the uAttend app as a supervisor to manage their team as well? There's also a group clocking option for supervisors when using the app. If you have a whole team turn up to site and you'd rather not have individual staff members sign on and off using their phone, you can allow the supervisor on site to group clock the whole team or select individuals on all at once using their app. And they can do that in real time, allowing the supervisor to stamp everyone is here right now, or you can give the supervisor the ability to specify the time that they turned up to. On our time cards are built to match your exact pay period. We can click on the employee to view the details. We'll see the exact minute they've signed in and out, their calculated normal, time and a half or double time. We've also got some additional options here to add annual leave, sick leave, or public holiday time. And on the right, if our login allows us, we have the ability to add new clockings to this day, edit the clockings that are already there, or remove the clockings. Directly on the time card itself, we have the ability to print, email, download, or recalculate if we've made some changes within our department. We can cycle forward or back through our staff, or cycle through our pay periods as well. Down here we have a department transfer box as well. If we're using the department job option, this will shortlist all the jobs that the employee has worked with a summary of hours, and we'll see all those individual clockings up here. Each day just expands down with brand new pairs of times that have been logged. If we're using the job tracking option, where employees use a fingerprint or card clock or web page, then an additional little J icon will appear here on the right where we can manage those job clockings per day. It very visually indicates that this time card is not yet approved by the supervisor that's assigned to this department. It's very easy for a supervisor to approve. If their login is allowed to approve this employee, on the bottom right they will see a new option, Approve Time Card. Or on the list of time cards itself, if all those time cards have been checked, the supervisor, the employee approval, admin approval, or a supervisor approval can select the teams that they're allowed to approve and approve them all at once from this screen for that pay period. Once the time cards have been edited and approved, we're free to run our reports. We have a short list of the reports available. A pay period report is a summary of the hours worked for that pay period. The time card report is a summary of hours for any date range we select. The batch report allows us to produce PDF timesheets per person that we can email out directly from uAttend. We can produce an average hours report to say how many hours has this employee averaged over this 6-month period. We can view the exact clockings that an employee have made, a total of the hours worked per job, exceptions to the shifts that we've enabled, etc. Once we click on a report, we're then added further filtering options. Which departments do we want to report on? Once we select the departments we want to view, we can then choose usually a date range option. In this case with pay periods, it would be the actual pay periods we use. We can choose to list hours by department or just individually by employee. And we can print or email this report data out. Or the pay period report export option is tied to marry up to the payroll software export we chose under our settings. When we click on status, we also have the ability to view who's on site right now and print or email this out to any applicable team members. Built into uAttend is the ability to chat with a technician or contact support directly on the phone numbers above, use the inbuilt knowledge base, or log a support ticket direct from your uAttend account. Some key features of the uAttend system. are that there are no contracts. It's just pay per month as you go. You can cancel any time. You can upgrade your employee plan up or down with no penalty any time that you need. And that means if you have a seasonal workforce, you can increase your plan for that period and just decrease it once your employees drop back. uAttend includes lifetime warranty on the uAttend time clocks. So you are always guaranteed that the uAttend clocks that you purchase will be working as intended for you for the life of the system. Lifetime warranty. uAttend also includes lifetime support. No additional support fees. You can access our support team who are all based here in Australia via web chat, phone, or logging a support ticket. So uAttend truly makes time and attendance simple, smart, and affordable, being a cloud employee management system.